Hello, all, and welcome to the Citizens' Rights and Security, the podcast that keeps you informed on citizens' rights, security, women empowerment, governance, and gender-related issues in Nigeria. My name is Ogechukwu Holly Mohanye, your host, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Hadiza Abubakar.
And we are excited to introduce to you our new season, Team Building Bridges, Empowering Voices.
For those who may be new to our podcast, this podcast is brought to us by the Rule of Law and Empowerment Initiative, also known as Partners West African Nigeria PWAN. We are a non-governmental organization dedicated to enhancing citizens' participation and improving security governance in Nigeria and West Africa.
So with a vision to robust good governance and accountable institutions in Nigeria and West Africa, our mission at PWAN is to enhance citizens' participation and improve security governance in Nigeria and West Africa. We uphold values such as integrity and trust, inclusion, humility, accountable collaboration, courage of conviction, and innovation.
Over the past decades, PWAN has worked tirelessly to promote citizens' rights, security, and governance through our rule of law and citizen security program areas. We have achieved this through various initiatives, including capacity building for security agencies, public sensitization on Nigerian policies like ACJL, gender-based related issues, and human rights. We also focus on promoting access to justice through offering pro bono services, court observations, and creating community-based structures that helps address gender-based violence and other human rights issues in Nigeria.
Now, in this season, we'll take a close look at PWAN's decade-long journey of promoting citizens' rights, security, and governance through our rule of law and citizen security program areas. Through 8 insightful episodes, we will explore critical topics that showcase our mission and impact as a non-governmental organization dedicated to enhancing citizens' participation and, of course, improving security governance in Nigeria and West Africa, with an ultimate goal of inspiring and empowering you and I in building a more just and equitable society.
With all that said, we'll go on a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to continue our important conversation on our new season themed Building Bridges, Empowering Voices. Stay tuned and we'll dive back to discuss what we have in store for this season.
Welcome back to the Citizens' Rights and Security podcast. We were just discussing the launch of this new season, Team Building Bridges, Empowering Voices. So, Hadiza, what do you think about the theme for this season?
I would say the theme for this season is a good one, because when we say building bridges, empowering voices, especially in the NGO space, we're more focused on our survivors, the marginalized group, people living with disability, women, girls, children, men. We're focused on connecting a bridge between them and policymakers, stakeholders, and empowering their voices, giving them a space to come out and talk, express yourself. We'll listen to you.
And
we're
even
not
be
going
part
to
of
judge.
decision
Yes,
making.
yes, you can, express yourself, be you. It's a safe space.
Yeah, they're talking about safe space. I mean, this is something P1 has really been big on over the years. P1 is 10 years. Yay. 10. So 10 years of creating impact, 10 years of building bridges, 10 years of empowering voices. I mean, this is just the beginning. We have not started, definitely. So to me, building bridges, empowering voices, like you said, is ensuring that the marginalized, vulnerable part of the society, those are the people that make that group, that class, that status, that's the women, children, the youth, people living with disabilities, and even men are all carried along. And, building bridges is that you're showing them the way.
Yes.
You're showing them the way, right? Empowering voices is that you're giving them strength. I know that through our intervention at P1, it has been said in one of our states of intervention that P1 is actually the golden voice in their state. I'm talking about
Yes,
Niger State.
that's true.
Talking about Niger State, I'm sure you all know that P1 is currently in over 15 states across Nigeria. And our plan definitely is to take over. I mean,
I
to
mean,
be in all states,
expand.
expand our reach across all states, and of course in West Africa. So we're looking forward to coming into Liberia,
Yeah,
and the
Niger.
likes. Exactly, exactly. So, this has really been beautiful for P1. I'm so excited that we get to share, what P1 has done over the last decade, right?
And aside Sherry was seeing our impact, or not just, I mean, it's obvious when you go to those states we are present in, you
Yeah.
can see the impact we've done. You get
Yes.
testimonies, success stories, and all of that.
Yes, I'm talking about the states P1 is currently present in right now. We have about 6, 7 of them. We
Yeah.
have Kaduna, Niger,
Kano,
yes, Plateau,
Plateau,
yes, Katsina,
Borno.
Borno, exactly. I'm looking forward to coming to other parts of Nigeria, and I know if you're from the south expecting P1 to come, it's not like we have not been there. If you're in the southeast, P1 recently was just at Ebonyi State
Yeah.
and Enugu in December, where we had some great interventions. So we are definitely taking over and we're coming. Starting off with our first episode in this season, we have the topic breaking the silence, understanding GBV in our communities. Like I said earlier on, P1 has actually been big on GBV. It's when people say it's your onion, it's what you do. People know you for doing this, and breaking the silence has been our thing right from the start. So in this first episode, we hope to, talk about this crucial issue, this critical issue that has been affecting each and every one of us. GBV is something that can happen to you and I. It's something that can happen to the people we know and the people around us.
Your
It's not just
neighbors.
for the vulnerable, even though they are the ones that are being affected the most. In this episode, we're looking forward to breaking the silence. Let's talk about it. Let's talk, just come up, talk about, let's understand what it is in our communities, in our society at large. And in this episode, we'll be speaking with a P1 program officer, who would come on board from one of the states of our intervention, and also a GBV beneficiary from one of our interventions, who would share their experiences, share the successes and challenges they faced in this episode. I would also explore how P1 actually came into the picture, how P1 actually created a safe space and a living environment for each and everyone within that community, within that state, and what we also hope to achieve in the next 5 to 10 years.
So for our second episode, we'll be talking about from cell to court. And I'm very sure when you hear this, we're talking about justice.
Yes, access to justice.
Yeah, so we'll be looking at how PDSS lawyers, that's the Police Duty Solicitor Scheme, lawyers are championing justice. So, in this phase of the world we live in, justice is a thing for the rich.
Exactly.
If you don't have money, you can't get justice.
That is what it feels like, and that's what is being seen.
Yes. So we'll be looking at how P1 has helped people gain justice by, putting in place this scheme. A lot of people will be like, it's, justice, you must have your... No. In this second episode, we'll be looking at how justice is being made, how the PDSS lawyers are championing justice. The vulnerable, the poor gain access to justice to avoid awaiting trial, to avoid being detained for a very long time without having someone to come and represent you legally. So by doing this, P1 has deployed lawyers to police stations to help pick up cases, defend people who can't have access to free lawyers, to take up their case and represent them in courts.
Exactly. So talking about the PDSS, I'm sure you're aware that this was implemented 2017 under the First Order 20, and I'm sure you're looking forward to understanding what the PDSS is about and what it hopes to achieve. So for P1, no, I don't think I want to spill the teas. I want you to plan to listen. I want you to definitely be part of this episode. So for episode 3, the topic basically is one mission, many voices. And when I heard this, when we came about this, I was so interested because P1 has been that organization with one mission and many voices. and this is introducing P1 community structures. Now, one thing P1 has done in the last 10 years is to build up, community structures such as the Mixed Observers Team, the women-led organizations, and community safety partnerships. Now, these are, group of people, majorly women, who come together across the different parts of our society or the community. One thing these people do, is to come together and help to prevent and respond to cases of GBV in our society. Now, what we're going to be doing in this particular episode is to bring members of these three, community structures, MOTs, the women-led organizations, the WLOs, and the CSPs, to come discuss about their work and the impact they've helped P1, make in their various society or communities, and then of course talk about their experiences, their challenges, and also share successes so far in their journey.
And for the fourth episode, we'll be talking about the collaboration between the MOTs and the PDSS lawyers. We'll be looking at how the powerful collaboration between the MOTs and the PDSS lawyer has helped to enhance justice and security. By doing that, we'll be speaking with representatives from both sectors to see how they've come together to achieve this justice in our society.
Yes, definitely. And for episode 5, transforming societies, impact of religious and traditional leaders. Now, in every community, decisions cannot be made without these two jagabans that we have mentioned. Our religious and traditional leaders have a role to play. So, in our communities, whenever there is an issue, before it gets to the security agencies, what happens? They first of all take it to their religious and traditional leaders. These people standing as mediators. And we are saying at P1 that, for these people to actually exist, they have a role to play. They are the people who stand in to guide the community. They are the people who stand in as the fathers and the mothers and the authority in the community before any security agency comes in or is there physically to handle anything. So what we're going to be doing in this episode is to examine the crucial role these religious and traditional leaders play in shaping a sociocultural norm and promoting social change. Now, over the past 10 years, P1 has been engaging with religious and traditional leaders across our states of intervention, and we'll be bringing some of them, in this episode to discuss about their experiences and how they've been able to stand in as mediators to help to prevent, GBV in their various communities, and of course talk about the impact of P1's training on GBV, because P1 has been training this set of individuals and it has actually changed their mindset on how they actually, handle cases of GBV.
Episode 6, we'll be talking about empowering voices, amplifying stories of GBV beneficiaries. In this episode, we'll be amplifying the stories of our GBV beneficiaries and highlight the importance of promoting healing, empowerment, and social change.
Yes, of course, definitely. And I think I'm looking forward to this particular. I feel it's going to be interesting.
Really interesting.
And it will be so good hearing from a beneficiary what exactly happened and how P1 has been able to, help transform their lives and, of course, give them voices. Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to this episode because I feel like it's going to be an emotional episode.
It is. It will be.
Cases of GBV and what they went through that I'm looking forward to hearing is how these cases have been handled.
Yes.
And, the successes after it. When you are watching an Hollywood movie and you hear towards the end is victory and happiness. So I'm looking forward to hearing all of that. For episode 7, we're going to be talking about building bridges, fostering collaboration and partnership. Now, in everything P1 has done in the past 10 years, we haven't just gone alone. We haven't just done things alone.
Yeah.
We have collaborated with a lot of stakeholders, from the security agencies to the developmental sector and, across. And here we'll be discussing the essential role of collaboration and partnership in creating a safe, sustainable solution to addressing GBV. Here we're going to be talking to, some of the security agencies like the Nigerian Police Force, the NSCDC, NHRC, FIDA, how we've all come together, and we'll be having representatives from each of these agencies come join us to share their experiences and successes and how this journey has actually been with P1.
For the final episode, equality and justice. In our final episode, we'll be exploring the critical issue of creating safe space for all with a focus on equality and justice. Safe space is very, very
I
important
agree
in
with
our
you.
society. If you're not living in a safe space, then there'll be this fear
Yes.
you get to live with for the rest of your
Of
life.
your
So
life,
we'll really
definitely.
be talking about that. And we'll be speaking with representatives from justice system and even our survivors also. Let's hear from them how it has been after the whole incident.
Exactly. Now, throughout this season, of course, like we've said, we're going to be highlighting P1's impact over the last decade, and it promises to be an interesting one. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Citizens' Right and Security podcast. We hope you are looking forward to this season, and we're looking forward to having you join the conversation.
But before we go, we would want to thank our amazing listeners. We are grateful for your engagement and support.
Definitely.
Your commitment to creating a more just and equitable society is what drives us to keep doing this work.
Exactly.
If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe to all our podcasts and leave a review. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more people with our message.
And of course, you remember the popular saying, the change begins with you and I. Now, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at Partners Nigeria. When I say Partners Nigeria, I mean
Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, our website, and our YouTube
to
channel.
stay updated on our latest episodes, news, and events. And if you're interested in learning more about P1's work, what we do, or getting involved in our initiatives, you can visit our website at partnersnigeria.org. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll catch up with you on the next episode of the Citizens' Right and Security podcast.
Bye.
Bye.